Hi friends, Lauren here with another video. And in this video, I'm going to talk to those of you who, for whatever reason, haven't yet decided whether you're going to vote for Vice President Harris or for Donald Trump. Now, I'm going to try to convince you to vote for Vice President Harris. Now, there's a ton of policy reasons that I could base my case on, but I'm not going to do that here. In this video, I'm going to talk about one thing, Donald Trump's character. And indeed, I'm going to talk about only one particular trait in his character. And I'm going to use 4 cases to do so. Case number 1, Andrew McCabe. Andrew McCabe was, in 2017, the FBI deputy director. Because Donald Trump didn't like the role Mr. McCabe played in the investigation of Trump's relationship with Russia, he, Trump, urged the Justice Department to get rid of McCabe. After the news media reported in December 2017 that McCabe planned to retire, Trump said on Twitter that, quote, FBI Deputy Director Andrew McCabe is racing the clock to retire with full benefits, 90 days to go, unquote. Donald Trump let the 90 days pass, and then hours before McCabe was scheduled to retire in 2018, he was fired by the Justice Department, depriving him of his pension and prompting cheers from Donald Trump. A pension the man had worked for decades. McCabe sued, alleging that he was fired for political reasons, and the Justice Department ultimately settled the case by reversing his firing. He was able to retire, after all, and receive his pension, and he also got about $200,000 in missed benefit payments. Now, you know, the fact that Donald Trump let the clock run for 90 days and then just hours before he was set to retire, that was meant to add salt to the wound, an additional dig. It's cruelty. Case number 2, Michael Cohen. Michael Cohen was Donald Trump's longtime lawyer who was with him for years when Trump ran his real estate business. In August 2018, that is, Cohen pleaded guilty to 8 counts, including campaign finance violations, tax fraud, and bank fraud. Cohen said he violated campaign finance laws at Trump's direction, quote, for the principal purpose of influencing, unquote, the 2016 presidential election. Cohen was given home confinement because of the COVID-19 pandemic. And we can talk about the unearned privilege of having been given home confinement for that reason in another video. But anyway, Cohen was given home confinement because of the pandemic, but he was ordered back to prison, and in so doing, Justice Department officials had him put in solitary confinement after he refused to sign a form that would have prohibited him from speaking to the press or posting on social media. They put him back in jail and put him in solitary confinement because he wouldn't sign something saying that he wouldn't talk to the press or post on social media. Of course, he would most likely have been talking to the press and posting on social media about Trump's business dealings, which Trump did not want in the public eye. After 16 days in solitary confinement, a federal judge ordered Cohen's release, finding that government officials had retaliated against him. Reliable media sources have reported that in this case, Trump was a sitting president who personally intervened to keep an American citizen in prison. Why? Because he criticized Trump in his memoir. Case number 3, Lieutenant Colonel Alexander Vindman. Alexander Vindman was a lieutenant colonel in the United States Army and served as the Director for European Affairs for the United States National Security Council. On November 19, 2019, Colonel Vindman testified before the House Intelligence Committee on Capitol Hill about a telephone conversation that Donald Trump had with President Volodymyr Zelensky of Ukraine, the well-known telephone conversation. Vinman told the committee that Trump tried to coerce Zelensky into investigating his then political opponent, Joseph Biden, by telling President Zelensky that he would have to conduct the investigation of Biden and come up with dirt on him in order to receive the military aid that the Congress had already approved for Ukraine in its fight against Russia. Well, Trump didn't like Lieutenant Colonel Vindman's having testified against him to the Congressional Committee one bit. So what did he do? He engaged in a coordinated campaign to falsely portray Lieutenant Colonel Vindman as disloyal to the United States and to totally ruin his military career. Trump publicly removed from their White House jobs not only Lieutenant Colonel Alexander Vindman, but also his twin brother, who was serving as an attorney for the National Security Council. And Trump tried to derail Vindman's promotion to full colonel. Trump's crusade against Vinman destroyed Vindman's ability to serve in the future in any national security position or any foreign affairs role. Because of Trump's unrelenting false attacks on Lieutenant Colonel Vindman's loyalty and service to the United States, his only choice, Vindman's only choice, was to end his career and retire from the military. Trump's actions kept Lieutenant Colonel Vindman from continuing in the career that he had pursued his entire adult life, the career that he loved, serving his country in uniform. Going after Alexander Vindman wasn't enough for Trump, as I said earlier. No, He had to pour salt in the wound and go after Vindman's twin brother, too. I don't know if I'm going to pronounce it correctly, but his name is Yevgeny Vindman. When he was ready to be promoted to full colonel, Vindman's brother, Trump tried to ruin his career by having Trump's loyalists and appointees in the military, give that Vindman brother a slew of bad evaluations. Fortunately, though, Army personnel later determined that the negative performance reviews were not objective and gave him his promotion to full colonel. Case number 4, the Central Park Five. The 1989 Central Park Five case concerned the assault and rape of Tricia, I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly, Tricia Mealy, a woman who, on April 19th, 1989, was running in Manhattan's Central Park. She was just on a jog. 5 African-American and Latino young men were convicted of the crime and served sentences that ranged from 7 to 13 years. Very early on in the case, Donald Trump declared the young men's guilt. But then, more than 10 years after the rape, a serial rapist, Matias Reyes, while he was incarcerated for attacking 5 other women the same year, 1989, confessed to the assault and rape of Tricia Mealy and claimed that he was the only actor. And DNA evidence confirmed it. It confirmed that he was the rapist, that no one else was the rapist, and obviously that the Central Park Five young men were innocent. Donald Trump, however, refused to admit that he was wrong. He never recognized the innocence of the Black and Latino teens who were wrongfully accused of that rape. Never. And even more incredible, he still called for their execution, even after the DNA evidence exonerated them beyond the shadow of any doubt. My point, friends, is that Donald Trump has a deep, deep vindictive streak in him. I'm not telling you anything you don't know. Come on. It's obvious. You can see it. And now that the Supreme Court has given him almost full immunity, almost total immunity in doing whatever he wants as president, his vindictiveness makes him dangerous. He's too dangerous to be commander-in-chief of the most powerful military on the planet, and he's far too vindictive to have access to the nuclear codes. My friends, I'm just asking you to think about this. Those of you who haven't decided for whom you're going to vote, just think about these things. Even if you say to yourself, look, I can't vote for Kamala Harris. She is too different from me in policy. Okay, just stay home then. Just stay home and don't vote for Donald Trump. Because believe me, a vote for Donald Trump is a vote to put a very, very dangerous man in a position that now gives him almost total power. And that is not good for our freedom, our liberty, not good for our very soul, the very soul of this country. I'm just asking you to think about it, friends. That's all. Bye for now. I'll be back soon with another video.